All right. So nothing gets the cops to do their jobs instead of brutalize, like having a camera on them and having witnesses. Now, in a case like COVID, they've made all sorts of excuses. I get that. Um, Give me a moment. This look like it's slightly freezing up a little bit, so I'm gonna shut it out. See if that works. Too much stuff open, it'll not function. A lot of the stuff that I haven't been able to written down or that I've written and typed thousands of times, at this point it's been written and typed 1,000 times. I'm just speaking to make sure that I keep on speaking. Keep on speaking out until the day I die. Body cams have been shown to save lives. It's been shown to reduce police corruption because police are less afraid of getting in trouble. And we see how many police officers get in trouble because they forgot to turn off their body cameras, right? Some of those officers might not have even intended on walking into any of those situations and breaking the law or killing somebody. But the situations where they absolutely did, their cameras are always off. Nearly. But it's not just civilians. Regardless of your color, police are shooting people. That's just how it is. The more broke you are, the more likely you are to get shot. That's why we need to establish basic human rights and enforce them. See, through everything that I've gone through as a disabled person and as a human being, nobody enforced my rights. Nobody. They didn't have to because they just called me mentally ill. You, even as right now, I got a roof over my head here, and I have a low income apartment up there that I am very grateful for. That allows me to do things that I have not been able to do previously. But I did save enough proof to get those body cameras nationwide because of the multiple jurisdictions that I was in. Due to the fact that so many of them lied, and due to the fact that I have so many eyewitness reports just on my YouTube alone that prove this. What I need is help. Help getting my voice out there. And here's the thing, even if you hate me, when it came to Not Afraid, I didn't care if people fucking hated me. I'm like, fuck yes, that is a good thing. People hating me as much as they do is a good thing for her and her family. Even if they hate me, that's fine. They're getting the word out. And hopefully more people are going and looking for Selena Not Afraid. Hopefully more people are speaking out. Hopefully more people are doing something. Natalie was a high profile case in a big city. Selena Not Afraid wasn't so high profile a case, but a lot of people from a lot of these places, they picked it up immediately. They saw my name, they recognized it, they recognized my video and went, holy shit. You're goddamn right they picked that one up. Why is that? Because I had reported what I had heard from Native Americans in the area who I was staying with. I reported what I heard. I reported what they told me about these mostly Native girls dying out in the middle of nowhere in between Hardin, Montana and Lodge Grass. At the time, just mentally, I was thinking Lodge Grass is the other direction. It's because Lodgepole, I lived a few years here in racist Redneckville. Lodgepole is always that direction. It's always to the west. Lodge Grass is actually to the east of Hardin. Somebody messaged me that it's important to take their message, so I am going to leave here just shortly. The thing is that in many of these cases where police officers are refusing to do their jobs, as on this YouTube, you can go back and find it. One of the conversations that I had with Sheriff Scott Costa and then later Deputy Holloway. He was talking about the police and how I needed somebody to go in with me, and with the FBI, somebody had to go in with me, which is what I'd been trying to get done the whole time. So they couldn't deny my rights as a disabled person and as an American. They did it anyway. Most of the time I had to go in by myself, but they did it nationwide. And if we can get a grand jury fucking going on this, there's a lot of cops that are going to go to jail. A lot of cops. A lot of bad cops. And they're not just involved in racist BS in Boulder County. They're involved in straight up murder. They're involved in straight up negligence. These are the same idiots who fucked up the John Benet Ramsey case. They're not cops. They're thugs. They're armed thugs. Their job is to make sure that the homeless aren't there, because if there's then the rich people are happy. The less homeless people are on the streets, the more the rich people are fucking happy. So these armed thugs run around victimizing homeless people. Well, fucking woohoo. Then that homeless person is stuck there on probation. And now we have a homeless problem created by the police. And it generates revenue. It generates a lot of revenue. It generates most of the revenue for all these departments and city council and for the roads project. Oh yeah, and then we have all of the homeless people who are paying fines and community service for being homeless. And police just turn off their body cameras. Black Lives Matters isn't going to do nothing. They're homeless. You can light them on fire, nobody cares, they're homeless. You can try to beat them to death with a rock, nobody cares, they're homeless. You can invite them home for a beer and y'all don't understand why I have this disliking for police and for college kids, do you? We got to change this. Y'all got to stop sending your kids off to college with so much hatred towards people who didn't have the lucky start that they had. Like, holy fuck, you get to go to college? Dude. But even them, at least when they die, a police officer has to pay for it. You can't even accidentally be even partially responsible for the death of a rich elite motherfucker or their kids. They're going to find a scapegoat. It's going to happen. And, you know, it don't matter how much the blue line of bullshit wants to hide you. When the rich wants you, yeah, your fucking buddies are going to fucking fold on you in the department and you're going to go down like a sack of fucking bricks. Because of the term mentally ill, those things that you guys take for granted that you're allowed to do and can do or are capable of doing, I'm not. I'm not allowed. In some cases, I'm not capable. And in most cases, it's a matter of human nature, as officer referred to police officers not doing their fucking jobs. But it's not just police officers with human nature. You had a job for a bit. See, with them, it's an assumption thing. The assumption of that this person is guilty, and that's how you get treated. Regardless of whether you're guilty or not, they can torture you until your next court date all they want. The folks that I was in jail with, a lot of the black folks been in there for months without a court date, and I'd had 7 of them. 7 of them. But in all 7 of them, it was a different attorney that showed up. They all did the same pretendy thing. They didn't actually do a damn thing. Meanwhile, I got Pamela, who's supposed to be my public pretender, and she's telling me that Judge Kathleen M. Jansky of Arapahoe County is a rubber stamp for the prosecution. You know what that means, right? And the thing is, it wasn't just multiple jurisdictions in the state of Colorado, it was multiple jurisdictions in the state of Nebraska, multiple jurisdictions in the state of Washington. Oh my God, their tricks are the same everywhere. Multiple jurisdictions. Wyoming. Wyoming, though, I got lucky in Rawlins, sort of. I mean, sure, the cops and the hospital staff are buddies, so they basically do whatever the cops want, like they do in most places. But they know the cops will cover their asses if they do something fucked up. You know what'll prevent that? Body cameras, and they need to be on medical staff as well. Their job, their job is too risky. It is too risky to not have them monitored because it is too easy for somebody in that position to do the wrong thing and get away with it. It is too easy for a doctor, especially when they're working with mentally ill children or small children, especially when that children has been taken away from who? Their parents. When you're in a position of power like that, it is too easy for the wrong people to get those positions, and some of them make a career of it. When you've got somebody who makes a career of it and he is going to like people who think similar to him, and he's going to hire people who are similar to him, and after he steps up just a little bit in ranks, he can hire on whoever he wants. So here's the thing about getting my voice out there. You can get my voice out there without even using my voice. You can use the voices of other victims that are already up here. Many of these people are pissed off because I posted the truth up here for everyone to see. But the fact is, you start going through those videos, you'll put 2 and 2 together. You'll realize that, yes, these witnesses have the power, have the ability. They just don't have the courage to change these laws that Black Lives Matters is asking for. This isn't just for black people, this is for all of us. It's to help keep the police just that much more honest. If they can turn off their body cameras or outright not wear them, as happened in many of the cases with Scott DaCosta, that just allows them to do whatever the hell they want. And then you have to have money for an attorney in order to even requisition that evidence. You can also tell that police officers in the same jurisdiction gave me conflicting stories on what I'm supposed to do legally. They also got in my way of doing it what it is the other officers had told me to. These officers here in Chapel, Nebraska that I'm dealing with, they work for the same fucking sheriff. The same fucking sheriff they covered for Cody Selhorst and allowed him to move on to do this to someone else. Many of these officers have histories like this. You know what really, really made it tough for me? When I was assaulted by Waylon Lolatai and I was charged with assault. Then every single officer out there had himself an excuse why it's okay to break the law to harm me. Why it's okay when I say, please don't interact with me like this. That is exactly how they interact with me. When I say, hey, do not put these drugs in me. I know what those drugs do to me. Don't do it. And they do it. The cops, they knew in Scottsbluff that I was going to try to turn them in as soon as I got released. I was there because of a situation in Scottsbluff at the hospital where officers were doing a favor for Dual County Sheriff's Department. A favor. It's a professional courtesy. There is an actual term for it. Yes. Professional courtesy. So police officers didn't do their job in 2017 or in 2016 in Chesapeake. They didn't do their job in 2017 in Colorado or in Nebraska. And since then, cops all over the place have not done their jobs. And guess what? I saved evidence. I actually saved it. I made it a point to make sure that I got that evidence. I made sure that I saved evidence everywhere that I went. Between the stuff that keeps me alive and evidence, I chose to carry the evidence. If I die, you got to investigate my death. Isn't that right? And that's why I took that evidence everywhere with me. There are witnesses on here who can tell you that every step of the way, you go back and you listen to them. You listen to these conversations, the ones that they're mad at me for putting up here. You realize I wasn't the only one that was trying. Lots of people were trying. The police were getting in their way. The volunteer family was getting in their way. Their cronies were getting in the way. They were threatening, harassing, and intimidating people the whole fucking way. Anybody who tried to help me, anybody who spoke up. Yeah, these people are fucking right to be afraid. You let these fucking goons do whatever they want. And they make excuses for them afterwards. Body cameras wipe out excuses. But they need to be on at all points in time. Not just after you've instigated a situation. And that needs to apply to the medical community as well.